we were seeing the important themes of existentialism. Since we cannot give an exhaustive list of all the themes, I have divided them into different families based on the resemblance. The first two sets we have already seen. Just to recapitulate what I said, the first set of themes speaks about human dynamism, human creativity. I exist insofar as I choose possibilities and keep on moving ahead. So that dimension of dynamism, creativity, choice, freedom, and as a result, I become an individual. I keep on becoming an individual. Now, the next set of themes refers to the restricting, the limiting aspect of the creativity. Although I am able, I find I am not also able. I am not able. Something is restraining, limiting, curtailing my ability of choosing. I am able, at the same time, I am not able. But we cannot take them as two aspects far apart. They are to be taken together. That aspect is referred to as thrownness, or maybe the better term would be finitude. I am finitely able. So when inability is added to my ability becomes a finite ability. I am finite. But at the same time, although I am finite, I am able. I am able in the given situation of mine. Then we just started speaking about the third set of themes, authenticity and inauthenticity. Although Heidegger is the one who refers to it mainly, almost all the existential thinkers accept the distinction between what is authentic and what is inauthentic. What is authentic is the ideal, what human beings should be, the ideal. Everyone proposes an ideal. But why there is an ideal is required? Because in reality, we have not come to that ideal. We are far below to the ideal that is given to us. So, ordinarily, the situation we are in, that is called the inauthenticity. And from that situation of inauthenticity, every one of us is called to move towards authenticity. And this, when I use the expression move towards, it doesn't mean that authenticity is a fixed point. We can never reach total authenticity. We can keep on moving. That keep on moving, that is important. Now it refers to a few of the thinkers, what they consider as the ideal or the authentic existence is, for instance, Kierkegaard. According to him, authenticity consists in making a leap of faith and becoming committed to a life of subjectivity and truth. Kierkegaard's philosophy we will be studying, but then his philosophy is centered on choice, decision. I keep on choosing to be myself, and the ultimate choice is choice for God. That is called leap of faith. So a person, insofar as a person is committed to a life of choice, that person, that is presented as the ideal or authentic person. Then coming to Heidegger, according to him, authentic man has to choose to be oneself in the face of the temptation to drift towards anonymity. I have referred to this point already, that the temptation is always to be anonymous. I do not want to be myself. I don't want to hold my face erect. I am afraid to be myself. Therefore, I would like to be one in the crowd, anonymous one. That is the constant temptation that the humans have got. And from that temptation, I am called, you be yourself. You have to be authentic. How to be authentic? By choosing to be yourself. You keep on choosing to be yourself. It's not a one act that you make. It is a life. Every moment of my life, I have to keep on choosing to be oneself. And thus we keep on growing. More or less same as what Kierkegaard has said, because Kierkegaard has influenced Heidegger very much. Therefore, Heidegger speaks in these terms. Another two philosophers, they are very similar in their thinking, Gabriel Marcel and Martin Buber. For them, authenticity consists in a life of communion and intersubjectivity. Insofar as I am able to be intersubjective, insofar as I accept others as subjects as myself, and thus our relation becomes subject to subject. When you come to Gabriel Marcel's philosophy, we will speak at length on that one. The other is every other human being is taken as another subject, and my relation to the other subject is an intersubjective relation, and we constitute a communion, a community. So his emphasis, the ideal that is given to us by Marcel's philosophy is that we have to be we have to be intersubjective and live a life of communion. Another philosopher from on the same period of time is Sartre. He is a atheistic thinker, but very important existentialist. According to him, authentic man accepts his freedom in good faith and makes choices. Again, he speaks of choice. So you decide. According to him, man is absolutely free. Absolutely free. Again, we will be considering his philosophy. But nobody wants to accept that one is free. Therefore, what do we do? We try to act in bad faith. Acting in bad faith means to put the blame, the responsibility on something else. That is acting in bad faith. You are afraid to be what you are, afraid that you have chosen. You don't want to accept that you have chosen to be what you are. If someone, let me give a very clear example. Suppose somebody fails in the examination, or somebody does not that well in the examination. If someone responsible asks you, immediately what is the answer you give? Nobody will say, I did not study, I did not use my freedom properly. Nobody will answer. They give the answer what? They give the answer such as, the classes were boring, the professor was useless, the time was not conducive, the exam time was not good enough. So many reasons. What are you saying? We are saying, I was not free. I did not use my freedom. So in order to, that is called acting in bad faith. So as against that one, Sartre says, authentic man will accept that I am acting in my freedom. I did not pretend, I did not want to pretend that I am unfree. I am responsible. If I have failed, I am responsible. If I have done badly in something, nobody else is responsible. I am responsible. That courage to accept that I am free, I have done it, I am responsible, that is acting in good faith. But the tendency is always acting in bad faith. And Sartre says, authenticity consists consists in acting in good faith and making choices. Just another thinker, atheistic thinker, is Camus. According to him, authentic existence is a life of resistance amidst the absurd. It means what? According to him, life is absurd or absurdity. Then how to take this absurdity? You take it courageously. He tells it is a life of resistance. With a rebel, as a rebel, you face it. Don't run away. Don't go and commit suicide. That is running away. You are frightened of absurdity. He says, don't get frightened. You face it as a rebel. And such persons are authentic persons. We refer to a few of the thinkers only to highlight this point, that every existential thinker is presenting an ideal situation. That is authenticity. And we are in the struggle of moving towards from the real to the ideal. So authenticity and inauthenticity, even though many of them do not use the expression, every philosopher accepts the distinction between the ideal and the real. The ideal is authentic, the real is inauthentic. Coming to another set of themes, that is, I put in terms of community, intersubjectivity, love, responsibility, faith, commitment. More of positive themes. Themes in relation to the divine and in relation to others. Not the negative way of relation, positive way of relation. How I have to be related to the divine. That is in faith and commitment. How I have to be related to others. That is in intersubjectivity and love. And ultimately, all this relation, whether I am related to the divine or to other people, we have to be responsibly committed. No existential thinker considers himself to be a solipsist. Solipsist means one who considers that I am the only subject to exist. There may be other people like me, but I am not sure whether they are like me, whether they are subjects like me. Therefore, there are hardly anyone is there to think who consider themselves as solipsists. That means everyone accepts that there are other subjects like me, other individuals like me. That is accepted by all the existential thinkers. But then a few of them emphasize on the importance and the beauty of my relation with the other. And two of them, mainly Gabriel Marcel, he speaks about intersubjectivity. My relation to the other is a relation between I and thou. I and thou. The other is a thou. The positive aspect of this relation is characterized by availability, fidelity and commitment, and we can add several other characteristics. So I am related to the other, I am committed to the other, I am available for the other, I am faithful to the other, I am responsible for the other. That is the type of relation between the I and a thou, or between two subjects. And my existence is enriched by one's relation to the other. I do not become poorer as a result of my relation with the other. The other enriches me. I become more of myself when I am related to the other. So it does not impoverish me, but rather it is enriching me. The other is a thou. We use the expression I and thou. The other is a thou. And thou is the term second person pronoun. Not, the other is not a he or a she, the other is not a it. It, of course, refers to something non-personal. He or she, that is the third person. I am related to the other as directly. I speak to you, a second person. I speak about him or her. So it is not, the other is not a third person, the other is a second person to whom I am directly related. So the other is not a he or a she, other is not an it, other is not an object, other is not a problem for me to solve, the other is not a functionary. There are many terms I have put here, each of them carry a meaning. For example, other is not a functionary. A functionary means we look at the other in terms of the function that he or she does. The other is a doctor. The other is an engineer. There we are not considering the other in his uniqueness. Instead of that one, I am looking at the other in terms of the function that they perform. That is not that is not the ideal that is proposed by Gabriel Marcel. So the other is not a functionary, but the unique thou. Not a problem, but a mystery. Not an object, but a subject. Not an it, or he or she, but a thou. So thus we find the importance or that he gives for one's relation to the other. Another philosopher who does not speak in terms of either relation as Gabriel Marcel, the philosopher is called Levinas. He is a philosopher of ethics, ethical thinking. And according to him, the face reveals the indubitable presence of the other. The face, he has got a phenomenological analysis of face. The face is not simply a piece of flesh, but rather the face is the other person, the presence of the other. And then not only it reveals the presence of the other, it reveals also my responsibility for the other. When I stand in front of the face of the other, it is not merely telling that I am another person, it is also telling me something to me individually. You are responsible for me, for the other. You are responsible. In that way, Levinas answers the question that was asked in the Old Testament by Cain. Am I the keeper of my brother? Am I responsible for my brother? No answer is given in the Old Testament, but the answer is given in the New Testament. Yes, you are responsible. Every one of us is responsible for the other. So that is Levinas' philosophy. Thus we find, and I am not going into the life of faith that is emphasized by Kierkegaard, a relation of commitment. I take a leap of faith. Leap means choice. It is not one choice. I keep on, life is a stretch of choice, and keep on growing in my existence by choice, and the ultimate choice is my choice for God. A jump. That is an answer. When you make that, when you keep on making the choice for God, you are living a life of faith. So thus we find all these various themes are referring to my relation to the divine, my relation to the other, the positive aspect of my relation, which are expressed in different terms by different thinkers.